Asajj Ventress is back. The hardcore Star Wars fan community was abuzz this week as beloved character Asajj Ventress made her return to the screen. We know not everyone is familiar with that character, myself included, so we asked our good friend and Asajj Ventress correspondent, Catrina Dennis, to give us a quick primer on this lightsaber-wielding former Sith apprentice.
Hello viewers, this is Catrina here to recap the history, the legacy, and the majesty of Asajj Ventress. Asajj Ventress first debuted on November 14th, 2003 as part of Genndy Tartakovsky's Clone Wars 2D series. Based on a design created for Attack of the Clones, Asajj Ventress was a Sith acolyte working under Count Dooku who was out for blood. Ventress's story continued throughout Dark Horse comics as well as novels, all the way through what we now know as the Expanded Universe until the debut of the 3D animated Clone Wars TV series. Deadly, precise, and strong in the Force, Ventress was known to wield 2 lightsabers when we first saw her, making her a worthy adversary for big names like Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Luminara Unduli, and Ahsoka Tano. Born to an unnamed Night Sister on Dathomir, she is traded away to a slaver at a very young age and taken to the planet Ratatak. But when pirates attack and kill her master, she is taken in by a Jedi known as Narek and becomes a very skilled Padawan. Unfortunately, tragedy strikes again when Ventress is forced to watch her Jedi master die before her and falls quickly to the dark side. She becomes a wonderful pawn for Count Dooku, who takes her in, makes her his Sith acolyte, and trains her in the dark side of the Force. Ventress is subject to countless tortures throughout her training that craft her into a vengeful, bitter, angry Sith acolyte. But eventually, the mysterious Sith Lord Palpatine decides that it is time to do away with Ventress. And against Dooku's wishes, he is forced to abandon her, leaving her to die among the stars. Ventress, of course, is a survivor. After Dooku's abandonment, she returns to her home planet of Dathomir and reunites with Mother Talzin and the Night Sisters. But unfortunately, the Night Sisters are a little too competent for Palpatine's liking. In a tragic battle, Ventress witnesses every single one of her sisters fall to the hands of General Grievous and his droid army. And yet, she persists. Throughout seasons 4 and 5 of the Clone Wars, we see Ventress turn into somebody completely new, striking out on her own as a bounty hunter and defining her path within the Force in new ways. Along with assisting Boba Fett in Season 4, Episode 20, Bounty of the Clone Wars, Ventress also returns in The Wrong Jedi to assist Ahsoka Tano in her escape from the Jedi Order. Ventress's change of heart is shown throughout numerous stories, including the Age of Republic comic where she saves 2 young girls from a man who wants to steal their food. So she slashes his arm off. That's my girl. Including the Jedi Master Quinlan Vos, who is ultimately sent to team up with her in the novel Dark Disciple so the 2 of them can take down her former master, Count Dooku. In the novel, Ventress ultimately sacrifices her life to save Quinlan Vos and return him to the light side of the Force. And for almost a decade, that was the last we'd seen of Asajj Ventress. But as of this week in the Bad Batch, she is back, baby. And that definitive path that she has chosen is on broad display for all of us. To learn more about Ventress, I would recommend you read Dark Disciple, Star Wars Brotherhood, the Age of Republic comics, Hyperspace Stories, and the Vader's Castle comics as well. And if you're looking for something a little less canon, I have 2 fanfics, one called Ventress Golden and another called Howl of the Banshee, that fill in more context to her Vendemption era. This character is so complicated, so interesting, and so wonderful. She is something so unique in the Star Wars universe, and she's redefining the Force for herself without the Jedi or the Sith. Welcome back, Ventress. We missed you, babe.
I am so happy that Catrina was able to cut that video for us. First of all, when I heard that Ventress was coming back, when we saw the trailer, my first thought was, somebody's got to check on Catrina, make sure she's okay. And then this week I had to, I figured what better way than to have her tell us about, because like you, I knew enough about her. I watched stuff, but I didn't read all the books and I didn't know the full backstory. And so it was great to get that perspective. Before I forget, Catrina is also the co-host of Padro Pascal, which they talk about Pedro Pascal, as well as What's Glup, a Glup Shido podcast. She's also been a part of Podathon in the past. She loves all the strange and interesting characters, very similar to our conversation last week with Tommy Stella. And she wrote 2 fan fictions, which you got to check out. I put the link in the chat for people to check out. But Nick, I have to. It wouldn't just be. It wouldn't be a normal situation if I didn't theorize in probably somewhat inappropriately. But here's my theory. Here's what I got, and especially after hearing what Catrina had told us and taught us about our friend Asajj Ventress. Here's my theory. Because we had heard somewhere, there were rumblings that her story is not over, whether that means within this series or not. I'm going to say young Omega finishes this story, leaving with Asajj Ventress to work on her force skills and become a maybe non-Jedi force user. I think she leaves in the last episode. I think the Bad Batch, whoever survives, realizes they can't do what they need to for her, and there she goes.
So if that happens, do we ever see Omega again down the road?
Oh yeah,
years, Rey movie,
maybe in the Rey movie, but I think we'll get an Asajj series. I think we'll get something like that. The further adventures of Asajj and Omega. That would be kind of cool.
Hey, I'm here for it.